Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to get a last video out here before I come back home. And I want to talk about Nvidia earnings. Now, the market has been dropping a lot the past couple of days, but Nvidia actually posted good earnings right after the market closed. So let's go into that real quick here. So let me share my screen. And by the way, Nvidia does pay a dividend, so we'll talk about that too. I know how important that is to the audience. So, okay, so Nvidia stock has been inching back up since the beginning of the year. Actually, a really good time to buy would have been right at the beginning of the year. I mean, it's gone up over $70 a share since then. And the real bottom was in October when it hit $112 a share. So the stock has come up almost $100 from its low point. And if you look at the after hours, we're up 8.34%, up to almost $225 a share. And that is because of what I call an earnings blast. And I haven't discussed this in a while, but we're going to get into it today. Now, earnings blasts are basically when the stock, when the stock moves up because of a positive earnings report. And that's exactly what we saw happen today. So we're going to look at the earnings history here of Nvidia. Now, I've done a couple of videos on Nvidia over the past year or so. You can see they beat earnings the first 2 quarters of 2022, and then they missed the last two. Well, now they're back to profitability because they've beaten earnings this quarter. And you can see, based on the projections, the white circle, it was projected higher than it was last quarter. So, that was a taller hurdle for them to climb over. I actually may not have thought that they would have beat earnings, but they did. So when something like this happens, one of my favorite strategies, even though a lot of options traders will tell you to not do a call option on this, I would either do a leap option or I would do something a couple months out. But before we get into that, let me just show you here. So Nvidia pays a 16 cent per share dividend, which is not very good. It's 0.08%. I mean, you could get that on, CDs, or you could even get that in a savings account. But it is something. So we'll just go into that real quick because I did want to discuss that the fund does pay dividends, and the ex-dividend date does impact options traders a little, not much, but I just want to go in for the last year and show the audience here the dividends. So we've got historical prices here, dividends only. And you know what? Actually, Nvidia has split a lot too. So since I'm doing an Nvidia video, we'll talk about that. Now, it looks like the dividend increased from 4 cents a share to 8 cents. So the dividends doubled. Now, don't let that mislead you, because a lot of these analysts will say, wow, the dividend increased 50%. That's true. But 4 cents to 8 cents, when you can have other dividends like from JEPQ or SVOL, it kind of pales in comparison. Now let's look at splits, stock splits from the past, say, 5 years. Let's see. There was a 4-for-1 split in 2021. I remember that one because that's what really accelerated the price. I wanted to get in on that one. Missed the boat on that one. But I do have some Nvidia options now. Now, the company's been public since 1999. And let's see. In its history, look at that. 2-for-1 splits happened 3 times in the year 2000, 2001, 2006, and then in 2007, it was a 3-for-2 split. So I'll probably do a follow-up video showing if you had bought Nvidia stock back in 1999, how much money you'd have now. Make you feel even worse, right? Well, no, this is motivation. Like, I consider, because I've missed out on a lot of these myself, so I consider this motivation for the next time. Like, one day, I'm determined I'm going to catch one of these, Amazon or Apple, in their infancy, so that, hold it throughout all the splits. And that's one of the pathways to massive wealth. But anyway, so really the theme of this video is going to be about options. So I wanted to discuss the dividends and the stock splits and whatnot, because Nvidia, there's a lot to cover with it. And whether you all know it or not, most of us interact with Nvidia in our daily lives because they're like a chip maker. And Nvidia chips are in a lot of devices we use, whether we know it or not. There's like gaming devices, personal computing, and whatnot. So uh, we may interact with Nvidia products more than we realize. Now, as far as options, and you'll see this tomorrow if you follow these here. Quiet. Um, I'm outside here, so lots of activity. I would have probably gone like a month out to like say March 31st, and the strike price on something like this that I would pick would be something like probably probably let's see. So the current price is 207, so I'd pick something just slightly out of the money. I'd probably go may have even gone like say 232 could to get an even $6. That would cost $600 for one contract because remember it's times 100. So something like this, you'll probably see this double tomorrow, or close to it. 50% gain, anywhere from that to doubling. Um, but as far as today, it actually this particular one was actually down 33%. So with that being said, that's kind of gives a rough idea of how to trade that for the zero people watching. That's okay. I'm doing this a little earlier, and really the purpose of this is obviously to get watched later. I didn't really expect a live audience now, but look behind me here. It was just snowing. It's real nice, but I'll be back home tomorrow, so kind of happy about that. Now, let's see. Yeah, so I would do see the tricky thing because these earnings plays can work against you. So if you do it, if you were to really take a risk, say you got 5 contracts, say you spent 3 grand on like 5 contracts, you could lose it all fast. Now the good thing with options is that your maximum loss is what you invested into it. So, but the thing is, if that earnings report had gone against us, then like that, I mean, you want to be getting out of that, especially when you're close to 30 days out because the theta kicks in. Now that's something that doesn't happen with futures, and I'm gonna do a lot more videos on that coming up because that's something I want to learn trading futures because you don't deal with all those nuances like you do with trading options. We've talked about it a little bit on this channel, but it's not something that is part of my area of expertise. But I'm going to get there and hopefully get the audience there along with me. So with this, I would even, like I said, I have leap options on Nvidia. I got them at the wrong time. I got them like a year ago, so I'm still down. I'm trying to recover in them because I was thinking Nvidia was going to be up to like $300 a share. So, um, but this would be a good idea, like for this earnings play. But remember, when you get a leap option, you can potentially, if you go a year out, you could get 3 or 4 earnings reports in there, and that's the good thing about that. Now, what Yahoo shows in terms of volatility, Yahoo shows see lots of volatility in these because they're close. You're only like a month out from expiration. Now what I want to do, I want to try to see if I can go into some details on the Nvidia earnings report because it just came out. Nvidia, let's see, earnings report. Let's see if we can find anything. Um, yeah, I mean, you see the stock here, according to Google. I know I don't use Google Finance anymore. I used to love Google Finance, but I like Yahoo a lot better. Okay, here we go. Investor.nvidia.com. Nvidia announces financial results for fourth quarter in fiscal 2023. Quarterly revenue of 6.05 billion, down 21% from a year ago. Still positive news though. Fiscal year revenue of 27 billion, flat from a year ago. Quarterly and annual return to shareholders of 1.15 billion and 10.44 billion respectively. Now the reason I go into this is because what you see, the $18 that it's up right now, you'll think, God, I wish I would have got into that. But right now, that's how the market's reacting to the initial release. But as the market kind of digests the earnings report, uh, the stock may open much lower tomorrow. So these are tricky. This is kind of a risky way to trade, but it can really pay off for you a lot, but it doesn't always work. Like I say, it's worked for me enough to where I like to do it and talk about it, but you've got to go into the details because sometimes the media just kind of reports the headlines and whatnot. That's why I'm kind of ending on this note here, pulling up the actual earnings report and the details on it. So let's see what else we can find here. Um, revenue for fourth quarter ended January 29th, 6.05 billion. GAAP earnings, which is generally accepted accounting principles, per diluted share, 57 cents, down 52%. but up 111% from the previous quarter. So I think what the market is reacting to is the fact that the company finally returned to a profitable earnings quarter. But we'll see if it lasts. I'll be following this one tomorrow. So if you like that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks so much for tuning in. And take care. And keep an eye out for the next video, hopefully tomorrow or the day after. Thanks again.